The study of evolution is fascinating. Understanding who we are cannot be accomplished without understanding the conditions that have allowed our species to flourish and thrive in ways no other species has. These conditions led towards an increase in cranial capacity, our big brains. You know, that 3-pound mass of gray and white matter made up mostly of fat that we can use to contemplate vast subjects like quantum mechanics, galactic astronomy, mathematics, and we can also use to produce art and architecture. Truly remarkable. Hello, my name is Seder, and this is the Necro Hour's next lecture series, Know Thyself, Primal Beginnings. Our primal beginnings, an extraordinary part of our evolution and modern culture. At first, these evolutionary and psychological changes seem strange, unfamiliar, and even at times bizarre when comparing early humans to modern man. Nevertheless, when we take a step back and contemplate our shared lineage, we can understand our present cultures, our shadow, our psyche, and the universal mind. Today, our story starts in Africa, about 3.9 and 2.9 million years ago. It's a story we all share. This is our humble beginning. It is a story often overlooked by the majority. However, this humble beginning is what made us who we are today. You may have heard about Lucy, that famous Australopithecus afarensis named after the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Lucy is just one of the countless remains discovered of a long line of our hominin lineage. There have been remains found from afarensis' evolutionary ancestors, and there have been remains found of afarensis' evolutionary offshoots. Why are finds like Lucy so important? Physical anthropology finds like Lucy have been extremely beneficial and have brought us closer to understanding our past, our psyche, our shadow, our present-day cultures, and the universal mind. But how can old bones communicate such vast concepts? And that is where my camera failed me and would no longer upload any of my videos that I had created for this lecture. However, I will be continuing this lecture via audio, and I do apologize if you are one of my Instagram followers. That selfie that I took to explain a concept, I will no longer be using in this lecture. Let's take a journey back. For this journey, we will need to understand that afarensis developed in a healthy and vigorous way due to the result of a particularly favorable environment caused by the climate in the Pliocene epoch. Now, I will remind you that afarensis did not have all the same characteristics that are well known in humans today: bipedal locomotion, enlarged cranial capacity or big brains, tool use, language. You are listening to me, and currently my brain is sending signals to my body using my diaphragm to force up air, creating sounds with my larynx or voice box, flapping around my lips, and you are able to understand the grunts that are coming out of my mouth. And writing. You are able to understand and read the subtitles I have written out for you. Thank you, Sumerians. This way, I am also able to communicate to the hearing impaired. Hello, and thank you for watching. Hominids, any species that is more closely related to humans than chimps, did not all of a sudden possess or emerge one day in the Pliocene epoch with the capability of these anatomical and behavioral traits. No, they took millions of years to slowly develop. So which traits emerged first? Why did the climate of the Pliocene epoch produce such traits? And did apes exist prior to the Pliocene epoch? The Miocene epoch precedes the Pliocene. It came before it. This is where apes were able to diversify and become widespread in the old world. Remember, we are looking at apes, not monkeys. Humans are apes, not monkeys. Yes, apes and monkeys are different, and we do share a same ancestor, but we will be discussing all of that in a later video. What you need to take away here is that we, humans, are apes. Towards the end of the Miocene epoch, our human ancestors had already split away from the ancestors of chimpanzees. The geological records show a cooling off period. Glaciers started to form, and the ephemeral or short-lived ice sheets in the northern hemisphere embraced an onset of an extensive glaciation. Apes took up skiing. No, they didn't. The dense forest started to retract, leaving abundant grasslands. The cooler climate and the withdrawal of abundant dense forests forced apes to leave their arboreal lifestyle in tree canopies and forage on the ground. When on the ground, apes found it was more beneficial and used less energy to walk bipedal, walking on 2 feet, than quadrupedal, walking on all fours. Walking with bipedal locomotion, even for short durations of time, allowed them to carry items and use their energy to forage. Walking bipedal can be possibly traced as far back as Sahelanthropus, about 7 million years ago through fossil records. The late Miocene epoch and early Pliocene epoch and their cooling off climate resulted in the anatomical and behavioral traits in apes that led to A. afarensis. But what traits did A. afarensis possess, and for what purpose? Next week, we will be discussing the anatomical and behavioral traits in A. afarensis, and continue on with our quest to understand our past, our shadow, the human psyche, human cultures, and the universal mind. We really hope you enjoyed the first lecture for Know Thyself, Primal Beginnings. We open up the comments section below for any questions you might have. Some of these questions will be answered in the next lecture. We can't wait to see what intuitive questions you come up with. For joining us today, my name is Seder, the necromancer bringing life to the past, a revolutionary building the future, and a woman with nothing to lose. This has been a recording for the Necro Hour, a free recording for the public domain. For more information, visit the Necro Hour on Facebook. Like, share, subscribe, ring that bell, and never be afraid to pursue the